back on the pot issue. If you want to legalize this on the federal level, I would suggest the lawmakers in Washington, D.C. come to my neighborhood first.
Yeah.
And say, is this what you want all of America to be? Because you'll get a contact high going to the coffee shop.
Oh, it is insane. In New York right now,
Yes.
a cop stopped me on the way to work this morning. He's like, you smoking weed? I was like, no. He's like, well, here you go then. Handed me a dime bag. No, I'm kidding. It's everywhere, okay? It's everywhere you go, and the quality of life deterioration that comes with it is what nobody talks about. Yeah, it's just weed. It's not quite heroin. It's not quite fentanyl. I understand. But there's an overall decay in the neighborhood, almost similar to like broken windows policing. When you start with a lowered standard, you see everything around it increase exponentially. And that's what pot has brought. It's just filthy laziness. And I'm not a fan, Hemmer.
There's no shortage of rich dumbasses on TV that have no idea what country they live in. They have no idea what people's lives are actually like. They put on their suit, they make their little jokes, they collect their massive paychecks, and that's it. They basically live on another planet. They have no idea what it is they're talking about. Weed isn't quite as bad as fentanyl, but it destroys neighborhoods. Well, God, we shouldn't legalize it, Jackson. I mean, then people might start smoking it. Since we live in a country right now where basically nobody does, thank God. Jackson, what do you think?
Well, I have a lot to say about this because, first and foremost, the United States is the most drug-consuming country on the planet. And I don't mind saying this publicly, I spent a large part of my young adulthood selling drugs. I smoke weed. I've done a decent amount of drugs just recreationally. And not just because of my experience in the game doing that, but drugs are everywhere. Not just weed, but you think that those rich white men in that studio, if not themselves, don't have colleagues who put cocaine up their nose every day. It's some of the best scripts, some of the best works that any of us have ever seen were produced by people who are high off of cocaine. And that's the truth. And so again, and it's not just people who just consume products all the time. Any of us can go to the store. Many of us, if not you, I know Brett definitely on his fridge has enough alcohol to kill himself on a daily basis. Brett has enough alcohol in his, but that's the reality of it, right? But does that, because addiction typically stems more from people who have like issues in their life. I mean, substances can be addictive, but we know that legally people are taking opioids. So it's ridiculous. It's a bunch of nonsense. And ironically, it's completely against what conservative principles are supposed to be, because they're always talking about freedom, but their solution to everything is just make society more punitive. And what does that do? It makes it more classist.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's just insane. Like I was telling our production meeting, like there are businesses where the entire business model, you can go in there in any city in America, and it is just full of drunk people getting drunk, paying money to get drunk, and they can get super drunk. Super drunk is sometimes they fight, and sometimes they throw up on the floor, and sometimes they pee their pants. And that's just a normal day at the business. And there's tens of thousands of these across America, and they're perfectly fine with that. They're perfectly fine with their friends who do coke. They're perfectly fine with their friends who can't get through a night without Chardonnay. They're perfectly fine with that because that's what they consume. The stuff that you might consume or want to consume, not only do they not like it, but they will literally ban you from consuming. Isn't that insane? Like if you were to propose banning a certain size soda, they freak out. How dare you? You should be able to put whatever you want in your body. Oh no, not that plant. Not that plant that grows quite naturally. You're not allowed to put that in your body. It's ridiculous. Thankfully, people don't support them. 3 in 5 voters say marijuana should be legal nationwide. And when it is, then you can truly decide for yourself. Right now, a lot of people still can't.
Yeah, man, because the more expensive wines and the things like cocaine and stuff, that's an expensive taste. So, there's a totally different stigma to it. So it's ridiculous.
Totally.